Good afternoon. Our meeting is for the Stockbridge 250th Committee, and before we introduce everyone, I'm going to read this statement. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, after notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names of members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed, and other topics not listed may be brought up for the discussion by the public body as permitted by law. So now I'd like to just introduce everybody. I'm Georgia Marsden, Selectman, and you may as well go to my left.
Katie Swede.
Susan Price.
Miguel Rodriguez from Chesterwood.
Talia Leodari, the curator for the Museum and Archives.
Susan Krieger.
Teresa O'Brien.
Tom Lobel.
Nancy Mills.
Kirk Nichols.
Thank you all for coming. The next on our agenda, I said organization of the committee, because I thought maybe we should have a chairman and maybe a co-chairman, in case the chairman isn't available, and a secretary.
Come on, George. We have
Hi, everybody. This is Russell Lord from the Northern Rockwell Museum.
Hi, Russell.
Apologies. Yeah, apologies for joining remotely. It says my camera is disabled, so you won't be able to by the host. So you can't see me, but I'm here.
Okay, Russell. So at the moment, if you want to speak, if you could just raise your hand and we'll open up the camera for you.
Okay,
But,
sure thing.
We've had some issues, so we'd like to keep the cameras off.
No worries.
Thank you. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So that's what I thought. If we wanted to do that today, we don't have to do it today. We can just start talking about what we might want to do for the 250th with some ideas or whatever. So I'm open to whatever.
Are you thinking, Georgia, for January through the end of the year? Are you thinking through holidays? What is your vision for?
Talia and I spoke earlier, and I think it's like an all year type of thing, not centered around holidays.
Right.
And when Talia and I were talking, she mentioned that the celebration could go on till 2030.
2033. I mean, technically, you know, that was how long the war lasted. So a lot of the battles were not in the New England area after, the first few years, but still in the 250th cycle. So.
Okay.
So I just thought we could kind of start by thinking about ideas of different things. I'll just start maybe by saying that I really don't have any ideas. Except for when my son was working at, he's part of emergency management for the state, and he was at the Big E, and he ran into a Captain Rob Keenan from the 25th Continental Regiment, and he was very interested in coming to Stockbridge to do something, whether it's encampment or whatever. He also connected me with the Mass Parks, and with a whole bunch of names that we could contact for different ideas that way. So that's kind of where I've been leaning, but there's other people that have ideas and that are doing things like Talia.
So I have a program that's going to happen in January. I realize that January in the Berkshires can be a questionable choice, but I made it anyway. and I actually have to talk to you about this. I think you know about it, but I have to talk to you about it. So we're building it, Fort Ticonderoga is doing a whole bunch about the Knox Trail. And they have two different options that they're offering. One is, you know, some reenactors and a small reproduction cannon, and that's suitable for classrooms. And the other one is a much larger one where it's a full-sized reproduction cannon and reenactors and oxen. And they demonstrate how oxen would pull a sled. And we have booked them for Saturday, January 24th. They will not be transporting the oxen from Fort Ticonderoga. They are found more locally, so we don't have car-sick oxen. And I've kind of built an event around this. I have, at this point, I've been talking to so many people about it, I may forget some parts of it, but so we have the Fort Ti people, and then I have a group of reenactors that are sort of cherry-picked from different units who are going to be doing, in some cases, first-person interpretation of some key people, and in other cases, just sort of general townspeople interpretation. I am partnering with the Mission House, and they're going to open up their space, and it will be set up sort of like a tavern. I've been working with Kendra from the trustees on that. And I have somebody who's going to be interpreting Theodore Sedgwick. I have somebody who's going to be interpreting Thomas Williams. I think I have someone who's going to be interpreting Anna Bingham. And I thought I was going to have somebody doing Agrippa Hall, but that person is no longer available. So I'm not sure about that. And then I have just general townsfolk. I have somebody doing a presentation on food and sort of foraging for the Army and food prep for the Army. And this is sort of scheduled from 10 to 2 on the Saturday.
This is all taking place at Chesterwood? Or is this?
No, at the library. I'm the curator for the library.
Okay.
So it's taking place up and down Main Street. And then at 3, I have 2 members of the tribe coming from Wisconsin who are both veterans, and they're going to talk about the importance of military service in their community and their ancestors who served in the Revolution. This all sounds like a lot, and I will say I've raised a lot of money for it. I wrote a lot of grants, and I got most of them. So I can afford to pay stipends and most people and a caterer who's going to hopefully be providing food for the tavern. So that's my big event, and it's in January. And there may be things after that, but I'm really the only, I mean, I have some part-time staff, but basically it's me. So I can do one thing at a time.
Do you envision any speakers per se, or mostly the actors?
Mostly well, I mean, it kind of both.
Both.
So the tribal members are going to be doing, they're doing a talk. What we're hoping to do, and it kind of depends on timing and who's available when, but for example, the person doing Theodore Sedgwick, we thought that he could be, even though it's not technically in the right time period, but he could be preparing for the trial for, or the court case for Elizabeth Freeman.
Yeah.
So that we could sort of bring that story in. And he would be sitting inside in the library, sort of at a desk with his papers, and he would do maybe 20 minutes 3 times during the day, a talk about that. So it would be a presentation. He wouldn't just be sitting there writing for 4 hours, but it would be more like a timed presentation, and the same thing for Anna Bingham.
Okay.
But no, we hadn't planned on like official talks.
Yeah.
But if anyone has an idea for one.
I have a question. I don't know who Anna Bingham is.
Anna Bingham, do you know the Red Lion Widows Tavern?
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
right.
Widow Bingham.
Widow Bingham.
Oh,
So the Binghams owned that.
the Papoons came first, though, didn't they? Silas
I
Papoon?
think the Papoons came after.
They came after.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we have stuff planned, but it's not in January, so
That's good.
we fill in a different gap. at Chesterwood, the centerpiece of next year is going to be the Minuteman, because it's the quintessential moment, right? When the colonial American left the farmers' tools and took a musket. And of course, Daniel Chester French did it. So we have a couple of bronzes of it, copies of it that he made, as well as the maquettes. So we're going to make that the centerpiece. I know that one of the bronzes is going to go to the town of Chester, New Hampshire, where he was born, and he's going to be featured there in the town hall. We still are going to use one of the bronzes on our exhibition hall upstairs, and it's the exhibition rooms and the residence are all going to be around the Minuteman, Washington, Lafayette, and all of the colonial characters. And then we'll, of course, go into Lincoln from there. And one of the ideas that we have is taking one of the exhibition rooms and showcasing how many ways the Minuteman has been used over decades and 100 years. And everything from pop art to ornaments to posters, stamps. The National Park Service has them on their sleeves. American bonds were advertised with the Minuteman. So we just sort of look at it historically, how it's been used and how it translates to today. So that is the core of our exhibitions at Chesterwood. We do have a maquette, so it would be great to have that somewhere in the town so that people get a little glimpse and can go to Chesterwood if we want to. We are also open to hosting some sort of events around it during the summertime. We will open from May 15th through October 31st. So we can host events in the gardens, we can host events in the barn, which can, hold 100 people easily. So I'm open to all of those ideas and how we collaborate with the town to get Daniel French's history, showcased during this celebration year.
Do we see it culminating at a particular time? I mean, July 4th or whatever, with a particular event? I mean, these are ongoing, I assume. The library will have it, you'll have it. But do we see it kind of, at some point, this is like the event we want to draw everybody in and advertise?
Something we can talk about.
No, exactly. We're going to advertise something.
Could we hear from Norman Rockwell?
Yeah, Mr. Lord has his hand raised.
Yes, because I know the Rockwells are planning something. Russell, do you want to?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, those both sound like great programs. Talia, congratulations on fundraising too. We are planning a major show to open in June that really is a kind of history of American illustration and public images, looking at how those kinds of images have both shaped or reflected American identity over the years. So it will be a broad-ranging exhibit. It will actually take up almost all of the galleries here at the museum, which is the first time we've done that in quite some time. And each gallery will be anchored by a major Rockwell painting. Obviously, we have the challenge of kind of like Daniel Chester French Rockwell was not alive during the Revolution, but he was interested in that kind of American history, and of course he was very deeply connected with figures like Ben Franklin, who, amongst other things, founded the Saturday Evening Post. So we're going to be looking at sort of those histories. And then we will also have historic objects dating all the way back to pre-American Revolution. The earliest thing that we have currently planned to be in the show is a small engraving by Paul Revere. So it will go from Paul Revere all the way up to contemporary representations of American identity.
Thank you, Russell.
And that will be June to October, and it's a major loan show, so we're borrowing things from a variety of museums and collections around the country.
Do you have some, a suggestion?
I don't right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say. But it did occur to me that, I mean, the principal thing you're commemorating is the Declaration, correct?
Right.
And what it means. So, I mean, I've been going over the Declaration, trying to get inspiration from it, really. And unfortunately, a lot of it seems pertinent today. So we, there's like 25 charges brought against King George. Some of those worked pretty well today. But anyway, that's really as far as I've gone. I do have a book I should bring in. It was put out by the University of Pennsylvania, and it includes all the colonial flags, and it has beautiful color photographs, including all the ones it's done by state. So it has all of the Massachusetts flags, which, you know, most of which came, you know, into being, you know, with the revolution, you know, I think the first year. So I never realized that. Have you ever seen the rattlesnake flag?
Yeah.
Pieces. That was actually a naval flag. I always thought it was for the Army, but it was actually was one of the first naval flags. We had a very small Navy, a few ships. But
Bring up July 4th again. I'm just thinking Shakespeare and Company always has an annual reading of the Declaration.
Declaration, sure.
I mean, I don't know if we want to replicate the same thing, but if we want to pick that as the date and have a major event, you know, some enactment of something that
Sure.
we might do that. I mean,
So the Rockwell Museum last year had the reading of the Declaration.
Yep.
And several of us around this table took part in that and read
pieces of it.
pieces of it. I don't know, Russell, are you planning on doing that again this year?
I think we are. It was such a success. And we had the same kind of, I think a lot of our visitors had the same kind of revelatory experience that it sounds like others have had, where yes, it's the way it's relevant for today is striking.
Right. The thing that I'm thinking about, and Kurt will, there's a lot going on in Berkshire County for this. And we know that the Pittsfield parade is always on the 4th of July. So I would like to stay away from the 4th of July and do things
There's also James Taylor that weekend.
Right.
So it's.
other than the
there's
4th
other
of July
attractions
weekend.
that
It
will
would be
be-
good for us to try to get a list of competing events going around at that time, you know, just so
Yeah.
we don't collide.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a significant date. I don't know what it is, but maybe there's a significant date that people aren't aware of in connection with the Declaration and.
I,
Sure.
yes, I agree. I agree with what George said about the date. I think, and I say this just from a logistical standpoint, like what we want to do is up to us and up to the town, what we're going to do. But we have to be very mindful that like around certain dates in the calendar in the summer, things get really hectic around here. And then also we have to keep in mind that like 3rd and 4th of July with James Taylor, you know, we have 3 to 4 people working evening shifts alone in the department. We have the majority of the department on patrol those evenings because of the size of the concerts. So just the ability to draw in resources to do a larger event, you know, that might require a little bit of work on our end, which is fun. That's what we're here for, right? Might be logistically challenging. And if we had to get outside of our department, it's going to be very costly.
I think let's look at the other. I just got off the website. Egremont has done a lot of planning already.
Yeah.
Right, Talia is the coordinator for Southern Berkshire,
Yeah, and
Berkshire 250.
so there's Berkshire 250, and the one person who was coordinating it, who's the head of Berkshire Historical, was drowning. And so now there's like a North County point person and a South County point person. And I'm the South County point person, so yay.
Congratulations.
And
Thanks.
Georgia and I sat on a few of those 250
Yeah.
meetings, and they do things where
Yeah.
they said North Adams is doing this on this date, so I can compile a list of all the things. And through that, Georgia and I learned of a
So it
few
makes us unique.
really interesting things that we can even try to piggyback off of. We were talking, there was a local artist in Great Barrington He actually went to high school with me, and he created this Rebel Town musical. So he reached out to us to see if we can host a musical part of his play somewhere in town during the year, which I think would be amazing. The gym would be a great place. He offered one of the churches that he has done musicals in that has the setup that he could do. So I'm thinking, just for me and just my ideas, is to do some community events throughout this year. The history is huge. And it seems like that has been focused on as well, but I'm thinking family days in the park, Black parties, something to celebrate us in this time, to just get the community together as a whole. So I don't know if we do subcommittees, that could be something that one of the subcommittees can kind of look into, is seeing what we can do in this town that everybody can come and enjoy.
With the idea of like when to have a celebration, I'm not, and you probably know this, but I'm not quite clear. So they, promulgated the Declaration in Philadelphia, but communications were slow at that time. So at what point did word reach Massachusetts?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I meant
And
to
it
check.
probably got there in different times.
But, I know after, I recently read a terrific book on the first year of the war by a guy named Alan French. He wrote it in 1936. It's entirely assembled from contemporary documents. And in that, he discusses the notification of the colonies. And it was really amazing. I mean, before like 3 weeks were, every part of the country knew, the 13 colonies were familiar. And in fact, that's where Lexington, Kentucky gets its name, because it was just a small community, and word came in of the battle at Lexington. And so they named Lexington, Kentucky in honor of that at the time, later. So I thought that was neat, but I don't know when word of the Declaration, because it was very controversial. The Declaration was very controversial. George Washington was against it up until very late, he was all for reconciliation. If you think about how long, as someone once said, when London was the capital of America, right? I mean, I think 1609 is the first permanent settlement in Jamestown. And so then you go up to the war was over in 1783.
Yeah.
So if you take that and you basically take the same span of time and add it on to when we became a country, it would bring you into the 1950s, So, I mean, that's how long we were an English country. And and people naturally were very hesitant to break that bond. I mean, it was from 1783 to like 1955, you would have had, I check my math on that. Yeah, but that's how long we were an English country. So to take the step and say, no, we're going to, and to do it against the most powerful nation in the world, that was very difficult. It's very difficult for most people.
I like Katie's idea about bringing our community together, but I also want to do the historic aspect of it and bringing like Chesterwood, Rockwell into town. Because, I mean, everybody, these are our treasures too, so that if we could do something with whatever you're planning and bring it to downtown and then tell people to go to these places, and maybe do a reenactment, maybe do a town party or something for us. But those are kind of all the things that have been going around in my head, and I don't have anything concrete. So I love this committee, and I'm going to look at all of you.
I have a question. How often do you want to meet here?
Well, that's something we need to decide today. I kind of skipped over that part of that's a set meeting schedule and topics for next meeting. That's on the agenda. but overview of our committee purpose, goals, and ideas, which I think
Sure.
we've kind of stated, and then organize the committee. I see Nancy's writing a lot of notes. I've scribbled some and I probably won't be able to read mine, but just so that we have some notes,
Yeah, I'd be happy to try to take notes.
that would be great. For this, but,
Can I just say, I think it's very interesting to hear what everybody's doing and the idea of a particular event that brings us all together. But I think it would be really interesting, given the spectrum of time that we're going to be celebrating this, right? Over the year, if we had that one celebration and we're all, featured in town and we're all part of the treasure of Stockbridge. But we should also, it would be beneficial for people like the Norman Rockwell and for myself, if we can bring the people of Stockbridge into our places.
Yes.
Celebrating 250. So if we could coordinate some sort of event that is specific for the town of Stockbridge, whether it's a family day at Chesterwood or a family day at Norman Rockwell and all the other venues around here, so that the people who live here have a particular day they can, this weekend we're going to go to Norman Rockwell. This weekend we're going to go. And it will make us look like we're doing a lot of activities when you're just capitalizing on the resources that we already have. And it'll highlight Norman Rockwell on that day with Stockbridge and us.
Love that idea.
With and I think it just get more bang for our buck.
right.
And less coordination, more like this is everything that Stockbridge has to offer this year. And it starts in January.
I was wondering about that too, about, having the family days at different locations, but maybe bringing some music. I like the idea of the food idea of what did they eat and, not just for the Army, but maybe there's an extension of that. What did people eat in the 1700s when all this?
I've got so much I can talk to you about. And the key really is making it palatable to modern.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to do.
Go over very well, right? Yeah. But I was thinking, you probably know more about the music at the time, but I mean, certainly in Europe, it was classical music, but what was happening here?
It's a lot of,
I mean,
I thought that would be
Yeah.
the research. I know there's certain bands that specialize like in Civil War music.
Right.
They're
I've
definitely.
heard a few of those and, but I don't know if there's any for the rest, but there are.
They tend to be duos, like a singer and a stringed instrument.
Sure.
I mean, certainly we could do a whole thing about fifing
Right.
because, that did a whole bunch of stuff and people communicated all kinds of things through playing the fife.
Sure.
I just wanted to, before I forget, we do have the Rev War Memorial.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Which is, I don't know if we've committed to Memorial Day, but that's sort of the hope.
Really hard.
Okay.
That.
Towards that.
Yep.
And the other thing is, when you talk about reenactments, you should be aware that most reenacting groups are booked and have been booked for the 250th for a long time. So the sooner, if that is something you want to do, the sooner you decide that and start asking around, the better. And I'm happy to help with that, but
Yeah, I have this Captain Keenan's card. He lives in Agawam and his phone number and his email. So if you would like to, I could give you that. If that's something we all think would be kind of a fun thing to have, we could do it at the park.
And what would he do? Bring sort of a regiment type people
I believe
dressed up?
so.
Okay.
I have not spoken with him myself.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting to this committee, Matt, before.
Well, that's something kids would really
Oh,
love.
they love it. They do. You tie it into just
Adults
like a
love it.
few hours.
It's adults. Yes. Go ahead. I don't know.
Maybe you want to consider some kind of souvenir also.
So what, souvenir?
I like.
Yeah, that's an idea.
That's a very-
Or caps, or little music instruments, something like that.
I went to the Founder Day weekend and they do a kids event in the park and they had the Berkshire Museum. They are dressed up in the Revolutionary gear and everything. And then they did little stations as well. And they kind of talked about that. And so that's something also we can tie in if we do like a fun family day, that they're you can incorporate the history part of it too when you're still having fun and,
Yeah.
you know,
And kids, I find this strange, but they really like learning drill.
they love
So if
it.
you give them little wooden muskets and have them march up and down, they love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea, yeah.
Any kind of weapon.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lee Founder's Day, they have a Continental Fife and Drum Corps that marched in the parade as well.
Yes.
So there, that was really, really cool to see. They're all
Oh, yeah,
very dressed. So I mean,
Yeah.
another resource here locally.
yeah.
For music, like,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they marched in the
Right,
parade.
yeah.
It was cute.
Are the trustees doing anything that we know of? Trustees are,
I don't know.
yeah,
I heard.
okay.
I can talk to Kendra. I mean, they're now in that pumpkin walk, winter lights. We can't really think about anything.
Yeah,
For the January event, Kendra said, we're really happy to participate. We're really happy you're organizing it. So I
yeah,
think that kind of gives you a sense of where they are.
right, right.
Several years ago, well, it was a long time ago, I guess, because I was still working. There was an event that I think the library kind of sponsored, and it was all up and down the street with, like somebody was doing blacksmithing, somebody was doing weaving, somebody was doing something else down the street, you know, all kinds of things of that period that brought people into these, that took part in the whole town that I think would,
Kind of the social history of the period,
yeah,
what people did.
would be nice for the kids too.
Yeah.
That would be another family type thing. Teresa,
Have the concert.
Yeah, I remember that well, actually.
Right.
Yeah, we all had something out on the sidewalk that day. That was when the library closed for the renovation.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Right, it was a little history. Barbara Allen organized that.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell you, we
commented
have
on
so
that.
many authors and people who speak at the library.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of people who you're thinking of that might give talks or? I mean, we have Harold Holzer, who's a
Right.
real expert, but he's a Civil War guy. And so I just wondered about this period, or maybe the Mass Historical Society. He has cousins around here. He's connected around here. He still lives in New York, I think, but he comes every year and does a program for us. And he's a great
I have a
Lincoln
few of his
scholar.
books.
Yeah, yeah. He's a good speaker. He's been on CNN a lot doing, their documentaries. But anyway, that's,
So this is where the department, I don't want to say the divide, but like, I'm the museum, I'm not the library.
yeah.
So I don't actually know
Oh, okay.
what they're planning, but I can certainly talk
Oh, yeah,
to Wendy and see if she has anything.
yeah.
And I know it's ridiculous. It's a small building. We should talk more. But we're both very busy.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's a good idea.
Kind of jumping off of that, because I've teamed up with the library for some council on aging events. And I stole this idea from them. I did a cemetery walkthrough with Karen Marshall.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I reached out to her to see if she could do something following this lines, and she's absolutely open to
Yeah.
that.
And she's great.
And they're so interesting, and she knows so much. So that's also an idea that just sparked my, when you were talking about the library.
Yeah,
So she's all in for if we can get a date and time that she will do a walkthrough and kind of go over what's relevant.
yeah. We talk a lot because she's on our council. She's on the Chesterwood Council, and she's so good at the history and the presentation of that. Yeah. I think that's a great idea. There's a lot of famous people in our cemetery.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So just kind of, because I do a lot of events for the council, and I know when I do my events, I have to think a month or 2 or 3 out. So I know with everything that's booking up this year through Berkshire County, we need to probably think about a few months out from here. So I think if we want to do some of these events, maybe we should kind of figure out a timeline, or like what month, we don't have to pick a date, but see like.
Yeah, potential calendar. Yeah,
I think
that's a
we
good
should try to
idea.
look Through to see
Yeah.
what the next steps would be if we want to pick a day where we do something in the park and have something from Chesterwood and Rockwell So I don't know if that would be one of the next steps we kind of figure out today is what are we looking for in this coming year to see what we can start getting organized? Because I'm sure with your exhibits and things, you have days that you can't do, and same with the police department. So let me know if I'm stepping on toes. But maybe we kind of figure out what kind of route we want to take and see if pick a month to see if it works for the Rockwell Museum, Chesterwood, and things like that to kind of start looking at ideas so we can get things kind of settled and a goal to work towards.
And kind of picking up on that, if you have even a very general calendar in the January event, we're going to have a map so that people don't just avoid the Mission House because they don't know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably going to have a back, and we can certainly have these are upcoming events.
Yeah.
So that people who come in January will know there are other things happening.
Is Memorial Day a feasible day to do something that is not competing with something else in the region? As a sort of like a first
Kickoff.
kickoff event?
They're looking to dedicate the new the Revolutionary War Monument
On that day?
Memorial Day. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And we have, I sit on the parade committee for Memorial Day. We have a parade obviously in town, a little thing afterwards at the church. More like we used to have the picnic, but that went away. But we do have, there'll be catering, there'll be a food truck there, things like that. So there already is an event planned for Memorial Day.
There should be something 250
Yeah, it
of
should
that
be,
day so that we're part of that and whatever that is. But that's a good kickoff. And I agree, we should totally avoid the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
And then for me, and probably also for Russell and other organizations, we try to avoid the dates that everybody's having their galas, like BSO, because it gets cannibalized. Although maybe not for family events, but for other people.
Maybe the dedication of the monument, the Revolutionary War Monument on Memorial Day, that might be a really good kickoff event on its own. I know that, you'd probably know better than I am about who is responsible for that. I know that the Chief Wilcox is working on that. I don't know what town body is responsible for that. Is it the select board?
There's a committee.
Oh, there's a committee. Okay.
Yeah, there's a Memorial Day.
Oh, it's you, Talia? Yeah. Well, that's good. Thankfully, we have you here, so that we have a connection to that committee. But maybe we need to look at that as we should join with that committee, join with the Memorial Day Parade Committee, just to say hey, this is a good kickoff event for. So I mean, it's a significant event in town, right? We have a war monument that's being we're unveiling it.
Yeah.
It's a significant event. It ties very heavily to the 50th.
And there's also, this isn't completely settled, but they've been talking, the veterans group in Wisconsin would like to bring as many of the veterans who would like to come. And at the moment, it looks like it's a pretty large group, and they're going to bring a drum. And they're going to do a ceremony as part of the unveiling, and then probably they'll march in the parade if the timing works out. So there already is going to be sort of more than a small group of people cutting a ribbon or something like that. There's going to be a lot going on there. So
Really, really good.
yeah,
Maybe we should think about that as kicking off with that event. Because I know that the Memorial Day Committee could use some help.
Yeah.
As such. And so maybe we could even get, the kids involved, and if they can kind of figure out how to dress in period costumes or something, instead of riding their bikes. I mean, I know they're going to want to ride their bikes, but they could.
Big part of the parade, Georgia.
Right. They're ones that make up the parade. But, maybe we could do.
Maybe there's fife and drum instead of riding their bikes or something.
I can see a lot of kids wearing, if we get Minutemen hats.
Yeah.
And
Those are
just
easy, yeah.
those are parading around in Minutemen hats, and Chester would be happy to be part of the parade. And then Minuteman banner and flags for kids and stuff like that. I mean, those are easy things for us to do.
That sounds wonderful, I think. And I think that the committee, the Memorial Day committee would, you writing this down for them? I am not on that
Steel
committee.
trap, George, it's all up here.
I think they would really, really like that because I know that Keith Raftery, who was on that committee, couldn't join us today. But I know that he's very concerned about it. So that would be exciting, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any way to involve both the Congregational Church and Waldorf School are right there where they're going to be putting in the memorial. So,
We work, our committee works closely with them
Yeah.
because we lean on the Waldorf School for speakers.
yeah,
Obviously, we lean on the Congregational Church for their space.
Yeah.
And their hospitality.
yeah.
Yes, so we're already we as a parade committee are already in contact with those two organizations.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do something there without being in contact with them.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking of Michael Lynch, who's been involved with Chesterwood for years, also wrote the history of the building over, the Congregational Church history. And so there may be some kind of connection that can be made with them hosting something more than just giving you a parking space. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what they're interested
And
in.
maybe with the Waldorf School being there, maybe some of the speakers this year, the children reciting different things
Yeah.
could be more for that period. What do you think, Teresa?
Sure. It's always been kind of left to the kids to pick out what they want to read, but they can be directed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be, I think, kind of nice. If that's going to be, hopefully, we're going to be dedicating that.
We have to coordinate. That day's gonna be tight. If we've got,
A lot going on.
if we've got a tribal function, if we've got the dedication, a parade,
Yeah.
the ceremonies, the remembrance ceremonies that we do in the cemetery, and that's gonna be a lot of coordination.
Yeah. Maybe you can come to one of our meetings.
Oh, great. Yeah. No, I will. Yeah, one more. No.
Don't open your mouth.
I did. I brought this on myself. This is my fault. I'm gonna eat this one. Yeah. No, I think this might be, I know that you're gonna have your event in January,
Yes, no, that's,
but as far as this could be a real
Yeah.
way to tie. We could really tie a lot of things together on Memorial
Oh,
Day.
yeah.
Have a real strong
It's
showing for
Fort
town.
Tanglewood.
Yeah. It's Fort Tanglewood.
It would be nice to kind of figure out some ideas so we can add it to back to that brochure. So
Yeah.
that people know what's coming up.
Yep.
And even if we don't have all the details planned, if we have dates, we can say.
And if we have, please check this website.
Yeah.
So that people at least know where to look.
Yeah,
Do you have a website already for the 250?
So it's on the iBerkshire's landing page. I can get you the exact
Yeah.
URL, but I don't have it in my head.
Oh, good, okay.
just Google Berkshire 250.
Oh, it
You'll
comes
get
up,
connected somehow.
Okay.
Because that's how I found it.
okay. And do our state reps have anything going on? Or have they been in contact with you or anybody?
No.
No.
If we do anything, they'll show up.
Well,
Yeah.
If we get a lot of
Started.
constituents,
Right.
they're gonna show up. Yeah.
that's true.
So they'll parade.
Okay.
Well,
Anybody else have any ideas or thoughts?
I just have a suggestion. If we are going to plan another event, something else in town, that maybe we plan it for September, which is beautiful weather. And after the summer crowds are gone, after Tanglewood, it's always a bit of still people around, but they're not quite at the same level.
even
So
October. Even October.
in October it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the leaf.
The only thing for us is that we've experienced that after late August, it's really hard to get families to attend to stuff because the kids are back in school.
Yeah.
And I learned that if there's a date, the start of school day, if you do anything after school day start, even if you're giving free ice cream, they just don't come. So I am already thinking whatever I do, I want to do it before the first day of class. So we do other events. If we want families there, I don't know if September is going to be fruitful. Maybe
I
it
do a
is.
lot with my kids in October, November, December. Those are my busiest months.
Yeah.
Like you do pumpkin patches and nom keg things and.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a real sweet spot in our summer where like people aren't back to school yet. So it's, we still have decent crowds here, not just primary residents, but our secondary residents as well, because
Yeah,
they are a part of our community.
yeah,
And so, we should involve them as well.
yeah.
Right? There's a real sweet spot, like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's a teacher, so I,
Funny, but
yeah, it's,
just saw my numbers and then that day just like.
yep. But no, I think, Teresa, it's a great idea, having a later summer event, kind of after things smooth a little bit.
September weekends are
Gorgeous.
pretty great
Yeah.
here. And, I think there's pretty good attendance at like the Apple Squeeze is in September, the Tub Parade, families go to that.
Yeah.
I always did.
And Founder's Day is in September,
And that's packed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right?
Apple squeeze was crazy this year.
Yeah.
Great weather.
Busiest
I
I
think
ever
they should
saw.
shut down that's not the point. But speaking of like in town, one of my ideas, because when you can't sleep at night, this is when you come up with things. A block party on Elm Street. I've heard that we've done it in the past once or twice. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard. But that's something that we can incorporate the Rockwell Museum if they can team up with the Red Lion, open up the firehouse. There's so much space on the street. If Chesterwood wants to set up something, I know it's a lot on the police department, and I could feel Kirk's eyes.
No, that's honestly, that's a very light, that would be a light hit for us. That would be terrible at all.
And then if you do it somewhere in like the early evening where the post office is closed at that time, so you're not impeding on people's daily, outings to the post office. And I've chatted with a few businesses already, and they're really welcome to the idea of setting up something outside and keeping their doors open. And we can bring in face painters, a band. We can have a 3-hour block party for the town.
Or maybe have it at Bidwell Park. Rather than that, then the merchants could still stay open if they would. Because we did have a black party there, and it was, I think, the celebration of the Red Lion Inn. And it was fine, but, I think it was past Michael's and down in that area. So those other merchants could still stay open.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking to get it off the street and into our space.
That might be a time if we have an event like our second event, that's when we can have more historical speeches about the revolution. Tom, I know you're on top of that one, but you know what I mean? Like, we could, like, if we want to, we could do like a town reading of the Declaration of Independence. We could do multiple like presentations on our end. Bidwell Park would be the easiest place to do it. We could have there's a lot of space. We also have access to restrooms here in the building. If need be, if for weather, we can always go upstairs into the gym, right? Thinking like that. If we were to have a block party, honestly, closing down, the easiest thing would be to close down that road completely. And that's not that terrible of a lift for us. It's a lot easier than shutting down Main Street. So,
Yeah, you still have Route 7 moving along.
yeah, traffic really takes care of itself at that point, which make my life.
That's nice.
Yeah. But I guess that's my thought. Like, if we were to have a second event in the summer, which I think is a great idea, that's when we might focus a lot on historical readings and I don't know, things.
I have the kids with weapons and
Talia, we'll get your militia children going.
Marching up and down, yeah.
We'll get them all organized.
Mexican food, and that makes a party.
exactly. Yeah.
And little hats.
Little hats.
Hats.
Like hats.
Yeah.
Especially if you could put 2026 on it.
Yeah.
Yes, little cockades.
Souvenir hats.
Yeah, souvenir hats, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a budget for this?
We do.
Blank check.
The town-
I'm just kidding.
The town,
Just
has a-
curious. I'm just-
Right, the town has a budget, of $25,000.
And that was funded through the CPC, Community Preservations
Okay.
Committee from last year.
Now, I'm just thinking out loud, if this committee thinks that we might need more, the applications are due by November 4th. We could go, and then it would be voted on in May, and then we would have the funds in July for something else we might want to do. So if we think that we want to do that, then we could ask for more money from the CPC for other events.
Never hurts to have more.
Starting, and
Yeah.
if we're gonna cut short by November
Yeah.
4th. we should go back and
Well, that's the thing with
Go for
CPC
student
funds,
loans,
you don't use them.
Very interesting.
They just get carried over and they go back.
It's always gonna be, if you want.
Worth asking for.
Up, if you-
Right.
Yeah. A lot of
The
people.
old town.
Yeah. Anything you think about food for the town.
Advertise them. It's right.
Then they were.
Yeah.
Tried to get it back.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
really-
At least asked.
you have to go from.
Tell me. I understand that this weekend.
Yeah, the parade does we do a food truck, we cater for that after the parade. It's a couple $1,000s for hot dogs. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
donations from some places, but I don't know if enough to cover it.
Right. But were you really offering to buy Minuteman hats?
I already started, she was looking at me, I was Googling
He's got it.
kids hats, colonial hats, and I found them. So I am gonna get some for my site. But I think it would be if we do something on Memorial Day and kids, you give them hats and it's a great image to have all those kids wearing those hats and the meaning of it with some historical content. And I think, yeah.
I've also seen like wooden muskets for sale out at Sturbridge, you know, so.
And you were there on flags.
I see one of those.
There are.
Bullets to hit
Oh,
around,
they
you know.
totally do.
Yeah.
Like they line up and they march back and forth and then they start hitting each other.
That would be awesome, and
It would.
flags and, yeah, little flags and the.
Yeah, and flags with the little
Rather than the
Minuteman.
militia,
Just a,
the guts.
Massachusetts flag.
Yeah.
Bunker Hill and
Even if you
Like
want
basically a red cross and it had a tree and it said an appeal to heaven.
Yeah, I've seen that in
Yeah.
State
Yeah.
House.
up here, you know,
Massachusetts is very
you know,
religious.
pesticides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Teresa, did you want to say something?
No, I was just saying there are a lot of vendors that have things like that. When Barbara Allen did that event, we had kids' games that the kids used to, there were a lot of,
With the lights, you know, the lights.
and they were just games, and there's a company that I can't think of the name of it, but that makes them that, like, I buy wholesale.
We have, I mean, we don't have them to give away, but we do have a few at the museum, the cup and ball and Nine Men's Morris, and Game of Graces, which are the hoops and the two sticks.
Right, all that
So-
kind of stuff. There's lots of them available.
Yeah.
To buy wholesale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thought, maybe we can get donations from some, merchants around town.
Sure.
And out of
Teresa.
Sorry, what did she say? I didn't hear. Donations, it was.
How about having
Donation, of course.
a Minuteman reenactment on the parade as part of the parade?
Oh, yeah, it's part of the parade.
Person.
Yeah, almost, or like a float or something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they've ever had a float in the Stockbridge parade, have they?
Yeah, they
Don't
have.
tell Harold French. I'm kidding.
Well,
Harold's in the hospital.
I know, but I'm telling you, don't tell him.
one in college, but that was
when
one.
my husband
I'm going to
was,
be talking to him later today.
Oh, please.
no, my husband was a reporter at Channel 22 in Springfield, and I think it was 1976,
I grew up in Holyoke.
possibly. But he and a film cameraman were out here, and they were the only people here for that parade. And they were floats reenacting Norman Rockwell's paintings with a lot of the people from town on the floats. And Norman Rockwell was near the end of his life. He was sitting with in a wheelchair with a blanket on and looking at, but he kind of knows the guy who, the cameraman's Art Donahue, and he actually won an award from the Mass Historical Society for all of his finding old film of events, and he probably still has that, if I know him. Maybe, I mean, it's just, so anyway, there were floats.
Yes, there were. And Tim Minkler was one of the principals in that parade, along with Paul Bigot. They're the ones that kind of did the whole parade. And
So I have to throw something out here. What about fireworks?
They're about $1,000 a minute.
Are they really?
Oh,
They're very, very
And
expensive.
then
Gotta
you
make
have-
that application.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Wow, $1,000 a
You
minute.
have to hire the detail to sit there all day and.
Yeah, it's a big fire hazard thing.
Yeah, because the company
Oh,
comes,
I know.
sets them up in the morning,
I
you have to
mean,
pay the fire department to sit there all day and then.
You need Richard Mugar to pay for.
I was over
mean,
at fireworks
David
years
Mugar
ago.
to pay.
It did occur to me that it should, oh yeah, I used to love them, but after a while, everything gets old.
I like the idea of the hats and the different flags.
Yeah, I think the flags
To
are.
understand that. And so that, I like that idea rather than the muskets, even though I know the kids would love them. I know some parents wouldn't like it. And I'm concerned if we're having them for Memorial Day regarding the other aspects of with the tribe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Oh, the tribe were good with their muskets.
Oh.
They were at the siege of Boston. They fought New York. They fought the battle.
I think concerned about parents and children hitting each other with muskets is a much bigger concern than the tribe. I mean, the Stockbridge militia was,
Yeah.
Mohicans with muskets.
Right.
yeah, I was surprised. I heard Rich Bradway make his presentation to the select board about how many names have
Oh, yeah.
on this
Right.
memorial, and a lot of them are Mohegans.
Yep.
Yeah,
96.
yeah. Surprising.
Well, my understanding is that when the Mohegans were finally demobilized at the end of the war, George Washington himself paid for an oxen. There were oxen.
Yes.
So,
And he sent them a letter
yeah.
thanking them for their service.
Wow, that's cool.
And
And
then
they're trying to find where that spot was.
I think they found it.
Did they
I
find
think
it?
Bonnie said that they did find it.
Okay.
Someone could
do we have that
dress up
letter?
as George
Do
Washington.
we have the letter?
Read it.
I don't think we do. I don't know if the tribe does.
Yeah.
Investigate that.
I know there's a collected, the collected correspondence and papers of Washington. Was it edited by a guy named Ford?
We could have an ox roast.
That's probably.
Under
That's the parade in the town, Main Street, Georgia.
We have ox drag the cannon in and then we keep one of them.
I don't think that will go over.
It has to be vegan, though.
Just to kind of so if we do another application to CPC, what do you think? I mean, I have no clue. I mean, I don't know if we decided to have, I don't know, like if these people, the Continental Regiment, if they charge,
I'm sure they would.
It depends.
I would think.
I mean, it depends. I know this because my husband is a reenactor. And he's in charge of a unit. And it depends a lot. They have a sliding fee. And so if it's a public school, they, $50. And then if there's more means, so it depends a lot on the unit. I don't know, the 25th Continentals. I don't know what they do, but I can look them up.
Do we know how specific you have to be with the application? What it's for?
well, I don't know. I didn't write the last one. What
I
did you
was
say?
here when it got approved and it was just a number that was kind of just thought up just to have enough to try and do something. So there wasn't any details like it's this much was for this or this much was for this. So I think in regards to that, I think if we just kind of throw out a ballpark number and just say, because we would like to continue events and do bigger community engagement, that maybe we just.
Why don't we just ask for $25,000 again, and
Yeah.
then we have a total of 50?
And it's
Yeah.
what they.
And
they
maybe
can get.
throw
If you don't use it.
on events or something like that.
Right.
They get it back if you don't use
Yeah,
it.
it's-
Right, and if we don't use it, then we can just turn it back.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Because then it wouldn't be available till next July, but still, that's fine because we have these other,
And you just say something general like entertainment,
Yeah. Fees, food, it could be.
Right, there's so many.
Fireworks.
Really, fireworks. Sparklers.
There you go.
right, I mean, and I think the idea of having the different flags
Yeah,
is a neat idea.
Yeah, that's great.
I'll bring that book in next time. It has a whole section, has color photos of all the Massachusetts flags, so you can get an idea. They really are attractive. I mean,
It'd be fun to have some big ones in the parade and then all the kids have little ones.
Right.
Right,
The Amazon sells them.
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be real colorful.
I'm sure they sell some of them.
Education.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe we could get them on Amazon.
We will, we will commit to putting a reenacted Minuteman float. If you guys were interested in that as part of it. So that it comes from us. Unlike you, I've been doing my homework on the other side, so.
So there's, I will just, I like it. I like it a lot. There are members of the committee that I sit on that are, they have they have a different opinion about Memorial Day than I do. I say this as a combat veteran, and I have friends that are no longer with us. That I am a very, I like to have a good time, and I like to see people having a good time. I don't like to go to funerals in public. I've already been to those funerals, right? And so, but there are members of the committee that look at the Memorial Day parade in more of a somber remembrance. And I respect their opinions. I like the idea of like let's get floats, let's make it rowdy, let's have a lot of fun. I think that we might run into some roadblocks with other members of the committee that I sit on just because of their opinions and views about what they see Memorial Day as. That's my only resignation or hesitance to that.
Yeah.
It's just because
It's a totally different perspective.
it's a different perspective, right? Yeah.
but that issue came up early on. Memorial Day came from the Civil War. And early on, it turned into something where people had picnics and they played baseball and all this stuff like this. And the veterans at that time, the guys who had fought the Civil War, which was pretty terrible, they liked it because they said, this is what we fought for. You know what I mean? They saw this is peace. And
I agree.
we want to see people enjoying themselves and people happy instead of the grimness of war.
Kurt, like last year, there's a separation of the parade and then what happens in the cemetery with the river. That was moving. Maybe there's a way to make it work if we have the cemetery part of it be much more somber. I mean, I know I know.
I'll push that boulder.
I know who you're
Don't worry.
talking about.
I will push that boulder. 'Cause I personally, I think that Tom, I agree, right? Like Memorial Day is a day that you should go out and you should have a picnic with your family and you should look at, you should look outside and see the grass and the sun in the sky and be grateful that,
We're still here.
that some of us are still here and that there are people that cannot be here.
Right.
Right. And so I'm more of a, like, more is better. There's sometimes there's been arguments over whether we should have the children on bikes in the parade. And that's just kind of what it is. But
It's good to raise that.
It can be vetted. I mean, and I'd be totally respectful to that. If they say, we'd rather not have it, that's perfectly fine. You just offer it.
Well,
It's a different time this year.
I think
yeah,
it's a different.
I think so too. I think, especially if we're going to if Memorial Day is going to be a lead-off event for the town for the 250th birthday, and we have a lot of things happening all at once, we can have our cemetery, ceremonies and be somber and quiet and reflective there.
right.
But then we can also celebrate,
Right.
we're not going to throw a parade on the 4th of July because it's going to be bumper to bumper traffic.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be,
Memorial
so-
Day makes the most sense.
Yeah, so I think that if we're going to do something, and I will push that boulder uphill on the parade committee. I'll take care of that. So
And it can be done very respectfully.
You'll be good at it.
I mean,
It'll be
you
great.
have to have.
I'll develop my email very tactful.
Minutemen's not dancing and cake, right? You'd be standing. So, right,
fife and drum, maybe.
well, maybe.
I'm on a school committee.
That's enough.
Huh?
You're gonna play the drums?
I don't blame you.
Forget up my penny whistle.
Front and center, Tom LaBelle.
Yeah, thank you. But, all right.
Do you want to set another meeting for us? Katie and I'll work on the CPC application.
Absolutely.
Okay with you, Katie?
Absolutely. I have it all printed out, ready on my desk for a few different projects. I'll just,
And I have,
Add to it.
I know I have 2 to do for the town and 1 to do for somebody else. So I'm kind of like doing 3.
Applications, too.
3.
Grant writer.
they're due the 14th, so I think we still have another
At
week or
noon,
so.
right,
Or 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we have time,
Yeah.
especially since how we want to do it and what was ever, we could look at last year.
I'll get that from Erica, what the application looked like.
Before the next meeting, I'll try to find out when the news of the declaration reached Massachusetts, which I think could be handy.
Yeah,
Full day.
Bring the flags in, you know, that you can take a look and see which ones you like. And also too, it occurred to me that throughout American history, various people, I know Lincoln was, you know, often referred to the Declaration of Independence and found it inspiring. And I think a lot of people, you know, in our history have found it inspiring. And I wouldn't mind trying to search out, I have all kinds of books on like quotes and stuff, famous quotes. And I'd like to search out like various quotes that, you know, different people commenting on, you know, shortish, commenting on the Declaration. And I don't know if those would be useful.
it might be kind of neat to have that, and that might be what the students read at the,
Sure, and they could, yeah, they could do them similarly, you know?
I mean, we do have those new glass cases in the Proctor Gallery, so, you know, I'm really open to the idea of putting
Sure.
together a month-long show.
That'd
Sort of takes up that month.
Yeah, okay, so I'll commit to doing that before the next meeting.
Maybe we have to get Rachel on the committee for the family stuff, too.
I'll talk to her about that.
Should be good.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of the Minuteman float. I think that would be terrific.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
It'd be like the centerpiece for the parade, really.
So just go ahead and pencil it in as a yes right now.
Yeah, I think
I'll grease wheel on my end. You bring your float on down.
I'm always thinking how kids tie it historically and
Yeah.
Visually,
yeah, and then what does that mean? And it's a good teaching moment for them. And then they wear hats, you know. It doesn't get any better than that.
Children always like.
Right, because you don't, I mean, I don't know, my son's been out of school for a very long time, but, you know, you know, he always talks, he was a Civil War buff, but, you know, so we need to have them have more of the revolution that we're going to be dedicating this year to. So, that sounds good.
I didn't know Chris was a Civil War buff. Off the top.
He was, well, now that he has married and 3 kids, it's a little different, but
That's right, he's got 3 now.
yeah. So, anyway, what days are good for anyone?
What week are you talking?
Do you think sooner than later so that we can?
And what are we gonna,
And I'll call Captain Keenan just to get a feel for him. And then who was it Johnny?
Johnny Sagala.
Sagala,
Yeah.
okay. He was looking for a space that, now he has a place in North Berkshire, but he mentioned St. Paul's Church, and I'm sure that they would be willing to do something too, to spread the word. So I will check with St. Paul's about that.
That was Rebel Town, the musical. So he would do the music part of that play that he put on. He was out in Boston for a while on one of those opera house. I forgot what he said, but his musical was in Boston for a while.
So that's something else that we can think about too.
And
So,
we can add that in maybe the application for the CPC, find out what that costs.
yeah, that,
great,
And
That's a
if
good
that's
one to
free to
include.
the town and,
but it costs, yeah, and I can't remember if he mentioned it at that meeting. But anyway,
yeah.
is well,
You think beginning of
today,
November,
Wednesday?
the first week in November? Is that too quick?
That's soon, but
Yeah, it's just wait.
this is all happening pretty fast.
yes,
And to plan that, like you were saying with the
Yeah.
calendar, when we're going to be doing what we're doing. I
November
don't
11th.
We can,
I don't
you mean
think
for a next
we can
meeting?
really wait that long
Oh,
to get things planned.
Do you think we can, Susan, or not?
I'm sorry, but
What did you say? It's
I think we should meet sooner.
sooner. Oh, okay.
No, the beginning of November, I think is good.
That is
November
Veterans
5th?
Day.
Right.
We can do the
Or-
10th.
I will be in Albuquerque at a site directors meeting, so I won't be here that week until Friday.
Want to do like the week of the 3rd?
That's the
That's
week.
1 week.
Oh, is that the week that
That's
you
the
were?
week, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the 10th, 11th, 12th is perfect. Any of those days that week?
If we can do the 10th, because I'm gone the 11th, and the 11th is Veterans Day, so
Maybe
the offices would be closed
Yeah.
anyways. We couldn't.
okay.
I've got a thing in the afternoon on the 10th that I can't get out of.
So we can Zoom, right? Because I can't be
Yes.
in.
Could I make a suggestion?
Mhm.
So,
What are we doing till then?
it seems to me that if we created, subcommittees and recruited other people to be on the subcommittee, so at one point I was doing some research on the history of the planning board in this town. And one of the most successful planning boards was in the 60s, Thomas Arienti. Remember him? And he had just amazing talent on his board. But each one of the members of that board created a subcommittee. And they recruited people for their subcommittees who weren't technically on the committee. But it brought in so much manpower. So, and they were able to meet at different times, so that the whole committee didn't have to meet.
I think that's a great idea, but maybe a little later on, like
Sure,
after we know
sure.
what we're
Yeah.
doing. But
Yeah.
once we have a calendar that we're filling out, then I think absolutely, because it's a lot to do.
And
We-
also too, the more people you involve,
Oh, it's better.
more
Yeah,
Right.
kind of town,
yeah.
spirit that
Oh,
you
yeah.
created for the whole.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. You're right.
Anyway, I just wanted to throw it out there because I
No, there's a
really
lot of
admired
talent
the
in
way
this
he
town.
did that.
Yeah.
There is a lot of talent in this town.
Yeah.
And a lot of educated people, capable people,
Right. And I know
Your
there's,
son Chris, for instance. You said he'd be on a subcommittee.
he said he would, and Keith Raftery will be on a subcommittee, and
Sure.
I think there's a couple other people that willing, and you all may know of other people might want to be on a subcommittee, but, right. So what is good for everybody?
For the next
Of
meeting.
that, the week of the 10th,
Is that,
Wednesday afternoon is good for me. Tuesday morning,
It's fine.
I could zoom into that at some
The
point.
12th would
the
be the
14th,
Okay, I can do the 12th.
Do the 12th at the same time.
as long as it's not at 9 o'clock in the morning, because I have something then, but
And
I have another meeting at 10:30, so I could do 1 o'clock on the 12th. How does that sound?
good.
Is it okay if I zoom into that?
Great.
I'll be in Florida.
Yes.
Thanks.
And you can zoom in?
I think you said great. Sorry.
Susan,
Oh.
can you?
I
Is it-
can't
I think it'd be the hay.
That's an
Yeah,
Me too. That's what I-
Oh,
Mr. Lord, are you all set?
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes, that works for me too. Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Um,
you.
okay, Susan can't do it. Susan Price can't do it. She has something else to do it too.
I could do Thursday.
Maybe a little earlier.
Work for anybody? 13th?
Or how about,
I can't do the 13th.
I
are
can't do
evening
13th.
meetings better for people or
No.
anytime?
No.
No. That was fast.
I mean, if,
A little bit earlier on the 12th.
12:30 on the
What about the week of the 3rd?
or, well, then Miguel's not here. So
Right.
how about if we said noon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody on Wednesday, the 12th?
Yeah.
Does that work for you, Susan?
I can do it for part of the time, but I have to
Yeah.
sacrifice it to him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And would everybody be okay because the CPC applications are due 2 days after that? If I submit it before that 12th?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can be
So
on the
it'll be
subcommittee.
Wednesday, November 12th
I'll be on the
at
beach.
12 o'clock.
Perfect.
so I'd be happy to write up some notes, but I would really love to have a full list of the committee and your name, contact info, and who you represent. That would be great, and then we all have that,
Yeah,
Right.
perfect.
but I don't have that now, so. Thank you. I know Miguel.
I was gonna say, you know where to.
I don't need your card.
You want us to give it
I know.
to
You want us to write it in your.
Yeah, that's a good
Pass it
idea.
around?
Yeah, I'll pass my. Around Georgia, I know where to find you.
Right.
Oh, you have.
Thanks, Russell.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, everybody. Look forward to seeing you again.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes. I make a motion to
I
adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Walk over to the library, we'll be right back.